Hello there everyone, and welcome to Void Dwarf Studios, where we have another Fyreslayer video. 2 in one day? Oh wow, must be everyone's lucky day, I hope. Anyway, this one will be on the Fyreslayer Battlesmiths. Now, he may look like just a fancy dude with a head on a stick, but it is far more interesting than that. The Battlesmith is not only the standard bearer for your army, carrying that lovely icon of Grimnir, but he is also the Lodge Chronicler, chosen by the Rune Father to recite and record all the deeds of the Lodge. These warrior poet / skalds basically record all of the Lodge's doings. Along with the Zagran priesthood, they basically can recite everything that has happened to the Lodge. Dwarves have really long memories, and they also love the past, and they venerate it greatly. So a position such as this is very highly prized and regarded. Every battlesmith has their own unique icon of Grimnir, which they make themselves, as all dwarves are, well, at least in a Fyreslayer Lodge, very skilled artisans, as they believe that to start with, mastering the art of fire and metal is an essential aspect of their worship to Grimnir. So these chosen of the Rune Father, who become battlesmiths, go back to their home and forge their own icon. So when the fjords march to war, these skalds will recite heroic moments to inspire everyone around them, and basically kick anyone in the face who attempts to take the icon. Everyone within earshot will be hearing the glory of the Dwarven Hold and all of its previous victories, and how this one will be a victory just like any other. Hell, these battlesmiths are also involved in non-military activities, such as telling the story of their lodges during festival times and, events that tend to involve great amounts of drinking, eating and, festival merriment, which dwarves also are very fond of. And this guy will fight to the death to make sure his wonderful stick is not taken by the enemy. All battlesmiths are required to learn by heart the story of their lodge from memory. They rarely write things down. It is more the Zagran priesthood that is required to do that, although written records of course exist, because even dwarves realise it's a good idea to write some things down. Even if it's a time-honoured tradition to remember them by heart, the battlesmith has got to recite them. So he can, when big festivals or battles come round, he can just keep on talking and talking and talking and yelling and screaming and shouting and, basically make sure he's heard. Your standard battlesmith has the following profile: 5 wounds, 7 bravery, 4+ save and a 4-inch move. He is equipped with the Fire Steel Throwing Axe. You know this song and dance by now. Hits on 5s, wounds on 5s, 1 damage. Probably won't do much, but an occasional cheeky shot might achieve something. And he has an Ancestral War Axe, which has 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, -1 rend and 2 damage, which is much more respectable. But of course, it is his icon of Grimnir that make him the most useful part of the army, because it does the following. In your hero phase, you can say that this model will raise the icon. Add 1 to save rolls for attacks that target friendly Fyreslayer units within 12 inches of this model until the next hero phase. The only downside is, until the start of your next hero phase, friendly Fyreslayer units within 12 inches cannot retreat. I say downside. If you're playing Fyreslayers, on the whole you shouldn't be trying to retreat anyway, although I can of course respect wanting to retreat out of a combat to charge something else into the combat. But whilst this guy's around, your save is going to be better, and, you don't retreat in order to get it, which is a fair trade-off, I feel. And besides, if the Volkite Berserkers see this battlesmith nearby, and they retreat, he's going to give them a very stern look, and that's normally enough to make sure any berserker who thinks about retreating decides against this. His other special rule is none shall defile the icon, which is fairly self-explanatory. He really loves that shiny head on a stick. If this model is killed, you remove it from play, and all friendly Fyreslayer units within 12 inches of the spot that he died on can swear to protect the fallen icon. What this means is, the unit cannot make normal moves or charge moves for the rest of the battle. However, you re-roll hit rolls and wound rolls. Now, this one is situational, I want to say, because depending on where the Battlesmith dies, obviously you don't want your Fyreslayer army to just, stop moving. Because when you stop moving, you're no longer getting into fresh combats, and if you're not getting into fresh combats, yeah, your Fyreslayer army is going to get shot to pieces, and that's no fun whatsoever. But if this Battlesmith is near an objective, say, and he dies for whatever reason, the rest of your Fyreslayers will benefit from his death by making absolutely sure that the objective stays in your hands, and being able to re-roll your hits and wounds to make sure that happens is no small thing. And I do love the Battlesmith model. I do have one, and he's unfortunately not quite painted yet, but I am getting around to it. And yeah, Battlesmith, very straightforward. He's a banner, Banners should be near the front of the army. You should get them close enough so that your warriors feel the benefits, but not quite close enough that he's in close combat all the time. But his Ancestral War Axe does mean he can dish out some damage, so feel free to chuck him in if you feel like you can manage it. And make sure, if he dies, that you only allow the None Shall Defile the Icon ability to affect you if it's going to benefit you. Rerolling hits and wounds are nice, but if it's in the wrong place at the wrong time, you might as well just let a dwarf pick up the banner at the end of the fight. Better to make sure you pick it up at the end of the fight, then get stuck, massacred, and lose the icon altogether. Anyway, this was a relatively quick one because, well, this was the last of the leadership of the Fyreslayer Lodges. Now we have Rune Sons and Rune Fathers, which will be up at the same time, so check it out. Hope you've all enjoyed today, and hope you have a wonderful weekend. Take care, everyone.